G'day guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another episode of Wasteland Survival. So at the end of the last episode I basically did a little bit of weapons testing and I kind of discovered that I hadn't set the rotor limits for this turret properly. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fix that issue now. So let's find our railgun rotor here. We want the drive rotor, and I think, yeah, so it looks like the lower limit, I need to set that to maybe negative, I don't know, let's go with negative 73 and see where we're at with that. Because if you remember, when I was doing my weapons testing, it couldn't actually move downwards. So yeah, that's kind of a problem that I need to sort out. So if I control the turret, can I move downwards? Yeah, so I think that's probably about as far down as I want it to go. So we'll hold it at that point. I will exit out of... Actually, no. I'll go back into this control seat. And we'll find our rotor again. And whatever limit this is, so that's negative 34. So we'll just set the lower limit to negative 34 and that should be fine. So that kind of sorts out that problem. Now, one other thing I kind of mentioned is I noticed a kind of a big hole in my defenses, and what I want to do is I want to place some more turret installations like what I've got up there, but like down lower to the ground, so that when a ship kind of does crash here, then you know the rest of these turret installations can actually still fire upon it, because yeah, obviously that's kind of important. If something crashes up there, I don't really think it's going to have the angle with its guns to kind of shoot down upon my base, and this turret installation here and that one over there and that one over there will hopefully have enough range on those turrets to actually destroy whatever threat kind of crash lands there or something like that. So also another thing I noticed is when I was actually going around and building a lot of this turret out, I kind of noticed that I accidentally miscolored some of the corner lights in the base. I just like selected all of them and then just colored them in the wrong color. So I don't even know where these corner lights are, but what I've done is I've gone into a previous save and I've basically just copied the settings that I had for all those lights. So I'll go ahead and I'll fix that now. And then once I've done that, then we can get started with these new turret installations. Okay, so I've finished renaming and recoloring all the lights that I kind of miscolored when I was configuring the lights for the turret. So yeah, everything is sorted out. So it turns out that some of the lights were basically the lift light on the bottom of the Nomad. There were several lights inside the Pilgrim that hadn't been named properly. In fact, there's actually a lot of blocks within this ship that aren't actually named properly. Like they're all named Shuttle, because at one point this thing was, yeah, well, before I actually gave it a name, I just called it the Shuttle. So a lot of the blocks are actually misnamed. So I fixed a lot of those, but I'm not going to go and rename every single block right now because that's just going to take absolutely forever. I can't remember where the other lights were. Oh yeah, that's right. The other lights that I miscolored were on the satellite dish as well. So yeah, that's where all those lights were. I was able to turn on the antenna as well. So I can't honestly remember if I went ahead and disabled the Reavers in this world because of the issues that I was having with sim speed drops for that turret that I built there. But I'll have to check that in a little bit because I kind of suspect that I have disabled the Reavers because I haven't seen one in a while, to be honest. So yeah, I'll have to check that setting out. So right, let's kind of get started with these turret installations. So what we're going to do is just grab a couple of steel plates here. I don't think I can withdraw any steel plates from here. Do I actually have any on my inventory? No, I don't. Alright, well, I'll have to grab them from up here. And what I'll do is I'll enable the... what's that mode called again? The local grid alignment mode. And I'll just go forward and go forward a little bit and try and get these things centered a little bit here. So maybe we'll go out to about, let's say here. And the thing is, am I still kind of centered? It's a bit hard to tell because I'm so far out. I don't know. it looks kind of relatively well centered, I guess. I'm not going to bother. Oh, actually, maybe I can just put a couple of blocks down at certain intervals and just make sure that we are kind of centered here. I guess it doesn't really matter where I place these things. I mean, if they're one block off, it doesn't really matter, but I'm just like so pedantic with things being in the right locations. Even though, yeah, I think we are in the center. Even though all the other turret installations aren't really centered in any way, shape or form, I still kind of want these ones to be a bit centered. Now the question is, how far out do I go? So, I don't know, maybe we could go... So we could go maybe 1, 2, 3. Well, let's go out to a certain point and then count the amount of blocks we went out that way, and then we can basically do the same on the other side. So whereabouts do I want like the leg to be? I want it to be as low to the ground as possible, but at the same time I don't want it to be so low that it kind of gets in the way of the Nomad. So maybe there is a pretty good location, because that still gives me, because I think the wheels for the Nomad probably end up at about that point there. So I've still got quite a few blocks to kind of turn out, and I can't really turn there anyway because I got this big hunk of rock there, and I think we should be pretty good on the other side. So yeah, let's call this our point where our leg will end. So they'll be exactly the same as those ones up there. So how many blocks do we have here? 1, 2, 18. Alright, so we have 18 blocks. So we just got to do the exact same thing again. So that's 1 and 18. Alright, so that's about 18 blocks. The only problem is we're on a bit of an angle here, but I think I should be able to work around that. So what I would like to do at this point is I'm gonna get rid of this block because this is just kind of confusing me. So I'm going to take a blueprint of one of these turret installations here. Although, you know what, to be honest with you, and if you remember in my weapons testing, I had a bit of an issue where this turret literally just blew up this turret because it's completely unaware that it exists. And in fact, this turret was kind of doing some kind of spin maneuver. I don't know what that turret was doing. It was just, yeah, not working at all. But so I don't think what I'm going to do this time around is even bother with these turrets here. I mean, yeah, they are kind of effective, but number one, they get blown up by the other turrets. And number two, they just take so long to build that it's, yeah, it just gets pretty crazy. So what I'll do is I will just create a blueprint of this. So we'll go Control B, and let's rename that to the turret installation Mark 3. Let's have a look at this and see if... So yeah, I've got some ball turrets here. Turret installation Mark 3. Yeah, it is kind of my third version of that turret installation, because I did have one before I had these ones, and then I had these ones before I put on the custom turrets, and so on and so forth. So now what I need to do is set up a projector that basically, yeah, projects this stuff out here. Now, the thing is, if I wonder if when I do project something from here, so let's try this out. I'm not sure if I need a block from this grid to kind of be touching the projection in order for me to weld it up, and I just realized I cannot withdraw anything from that darn thing. So let's get the materials for one projector. And what I mean is, I don't know if, like, let's say I use a projector that's connected to this grid and then project my turret installation down here. What I'm not sure about is if I can just connect it to this grid here and then start welding it up, or if I need to run a whole heap of blocks all the way down there to get it connected to that. If that is the case, then I'm not going to bother running a line of blocks all the way down there. I'm just going to build a battery on that grid there and then use that to you know, create my projection. So let's build this thing and then line up the projection, and then we can sort of go from there. Alright, well, as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've projected this turret installation out to where I kind of want it to be. And yeah, as you can see, even though these blocks are touching this block here, I can't weld anything up. So I didn't realize there's actually an unfinished block there, but you must not be able to see it from up there. That's alright. So yeah, basically I'm going to have to place a projector in the center here somewhere and then project those things from this point here to get all of this stuff working. So let's go ahead and place in a projector there. Looks like I've got the army camo skin everywhere. Now, I was thinking about it, rather than building a battery though, what I think I will do instead is just put on a wind turbine, because I don't really need a battery, and a battery is honestly going to take me more time than it's actually worth to get that working. And I think I only need about 200. How much do I need for a projector? So let's find out. I think it's like 200 watts. And then let's see what a wind turbine puts out. So a wind turbine puts out, you know, at minimum a couple of kilowatts, so that's plenty of power. So let's find ourselves a wind turbine, add that to our build planner, withdraw the components for that, and then we shall weld that up, and then from there then we can get all this stuff aligned. Yeah, so I think what I'll do though is I think I'm going to project it over to this side. And then from there, I can kind of determine, because I kind of want the two at the front of the base to be at the same height. With these ones here, being such a large distance from each other, you can't really notice if they're like a block or two higher than the one on the other side. You know, just like I said, because they're so far apart. But these ones here at the front, I want them to be the same height as each other. So this one here, because this side of the mountain is steeper than that side, this side will kind of determine the height that both of these things are going to be. Alright, well, I'll get all this stuff built up and then I'll project it over to this side and we'll see how everything looks then. Okay, so I've got the projection roughly where I want it in terms of, yeah, distance from center. But as you can see, half of it is buried into the mountain. And this is what I was kind of saying before. I need to use this side as like my reference point, so I'm gonna have to raise this up maybe, I don't know. Oh, it looks like the reavers are working. Okay, cool. I thought they actually weren't working there for a while, so seems like that mod is still working just fine. I didn't actually have a chance to go and test if that was or wasn't working, so let's make the vertical offset about 10 and let's see where that's at. Yeah, most of it, I could probably go one block further down. I was worried about where the lights are, but I think that should be fine. So let's grab this projection one more time and let's go and change the vertical offset to -9. And how does that look? Yeah, I think that's pretty much where I want it. It is a little bit higher than what I would like, but still, I think here these guns are going to have more than enough gun depression to get down to this point, and anything that kind of comes here they'll be able to fire upon. So yeah, it's not ideal, but you know, it'll work and I'm kind of happy with that. Alright, so all I need to do now is actually get all of this stuff welded up. And the thing is with this, I don't need the custom turret controllers because I don't think I'm going to bother with these custom turrets anymore. From this point onwards, I'm not really going to bother building them because they're just a pain in the butt to build. And I think here what I'll do is place in some Gatling turrets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download a mod that a person by the name of Substitious on my Discord server has released. And basically it's like a remodeled version of the Gatling turrets. Because, yeah, one thing I mentioned before was I don't know why Keen Software never actually went ahead and changed up these models. So I'm definitely keen to see how they look in this save. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. I certainly enjoy making them. So now what I probably want to do is go ahead and get rid of these turrets here. I kind of just put them here as placeholders so that I could just, quickly access the materials for them. So what I've done is I've actually downloaded the mod that Substitious made with the DLC editions. Now, I'm not exactly sure whereabouts these blocks are, so it looks like they are in a separate menu. So what can I get rid of on my hotbar? I might just get rid of a rotor for now, and then we'll just place that there. And yeah, this is the new turret. So I don't know which way this one faces. I think it goes that way. No, looks like that's the wrong way around. So let's spin this around once more. And it looks like that is the front of the gun. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't look like it has any build stages, but that's okay because it still looks absolutely gorgeous, and I'm definitely keen to see how this thing looks. So let's withdraw another couple of steel plates, and interesting. What do I have on my build planner here? Okay, let's see if I have enough steel plates to go ahead and weld this up. It also appears as if the turret doesn't have a what's this auto tracking mode that these turrets have here. I can't remember what it's called, so let's dump all the components on my inventory into there, and let's go ahead and place in this turret once more. So place it, I think that was the front of it there. Yep, awesome. And then let's add that to my build planner. Let's withdraw all that. Fantastic. Cool. Yeah, so I think this mod looks really, really cool. The turret looks, 10 times better than the original one did. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I would like to control this turret, although I dare say that I need some sort of ammunition to do so. Now, I'm going to assume that these blocks here require the exact same ammunition as what the other Gatling turrets do. So let's find our ammo boxes. I don't want to take any out of... Oh yeah, so we got some here. So let's put in, let's say 100. That should be heaps. Looks like my inventory is full anyway. So we'll dump these into here. Let's dump these in here. And you know what? I just realized I'm going to have to configure some sort of a control seat to actually control these turrets. I probably should have thought of that before I went ahead and went all the way over here and wasted my time a little bit. Alright, so let me just go for a flight seat because they're a little bit cheaper to build. And let's place one of those down, let's just say here, I guess, and let's see what this thing looks like. So place my control seat. Maybe you can place it somewhere else so that I can actually see the gun in action. Yeah, that should do. I should be able to swing my character's neck around to see this thing in action, so let's do that. Let's go into control. No, sorry. I need my... So where... Oh yeah, warfare, Gatling turret. 800 meter range, and let's control this Gatling turret and see how this looks. Yeah, so far it looks like it behaves exactly the same as every other turret does. Let's see how this thing looks as it's rotating. Yeah, so I think it looks really cool. Awesome mod, absolutely awesome mod. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description to this mod, and you guys can download it and check it out for yourself. Also, what he's done is he's added some more weapons. So there is these new warfare Gatling turrets. So they are the same model, although what he's done is updated the like the model a little bit, the colors, and I think actually these bits on the side are new as well. So you can see on the side of the existing model, it's just kind of flat and boring, whereas he's added in this kind of fan grill and other bits and pieces like that, and just added a little bit more color to it so that it looks a little bit nicer. Also, there is this one here, which is the Warfare Starstreak missile turret, and this one, I think this one looks absolutely awesome. Now I'm going to assume that that is the front. In fact, I would like to build one of these to see how this looks, because I have seen photos of it, but I haven't actually seen it in person. So obviously it doesn't have build stages, but I mean, to be honest with you, that's not really a big deal to me. So yeah, and actually, you know what, I'm gonna make this the army camo color. I really want to see what it looks like in that color scheme. And it's pretty cool how I would love to know how people make stuff like this, because I would actually like to make some stuff myself. I have a few ideas, but yeah, maybe halfway through the year or at the end of the year I can kind of get into that. Oh man, this thing just looks absolutely gorgeous. Just look at this. That is awesome. Wow. That is so much better than the original missile turret, and I don't know why Keen didn't add something like this into the game. I mean, that just looks awesome. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think. And then also he's got another turret. So, well, he's got heaps of them actually. So there's this one here, which is like a 4-barreled version of the autocannon. So can I withdraw materials for this one? Yeah, let's go ahead and let's place that down there. And this one looks like it does have a build state, which is pretty awesome. Actually, I will remove that from my build planner. Let's get this. It does take a few components to build these things. I imagine it's somewhat similar to the original turret, although slightly different. Cool. Yeah, so that looks awesome. Yeah, I'm really stoked with this mod. This looks awesome. Alright, sweet. Well, I'm going to grind all these down. Now, what I kind of need to do from here is try and figure out exactly what I'm going to do with the other side. So, I was thinking maybe I will create like a blueprint of this one and then paste it over there like I did, yeah. But the only thing is, when I go over this way, then I'm probably going to need to... You know what? I think I will. I was concerned about this whole section here being missing, but I've gotten rid of all the turret controllers. I've gotten rid of the rotors that were here, and I just think it would save me a lot more time if I basically just create a blueprint of this one. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to name this probably turret installation Mark IV. So name that Mark IV, and then we can just go ahead and use that and move that over to the other side over there. But I'm probably not going to create a time lapse for this thing again, because yeah, I don't know. But I mean, let me know what you guys think about the whole time-lapse scenario. I was having a lot of issues with the time-lapses before, and that's why I kind of avoided doing them. But I think I've figured out what's causing the problem. So it seems like within DaVinci Resolve, whenever I try and speed up a clip, at certain points and certain clips, it just kind of gets hung up. And like there's a corrupted frame or something like that, and it just can't render it any further. So what I've found I had to do was basically remove the offending frame, and then from there I was able to actually actually create the time lapse. So it isn't the most elegant solution, but at least I have a solution to get around that problem. So yeah, anyway guys, I'll see you in a moment once the other side has been built. Alright, so it's well into the night time at this point, and as you can see, I have finished the second turret installation. I would like to probably change up this area a little bit. I do find that this section here is really kind of flat and boring, so I'm thinking that perhaps I might get rid of these blocks here and then just go straight down from that point to give it a bit more, I don't know, shape. It doesn't look too bad when the thing is kind of buried into the mountain at this point, because it looks like it kind of flares out to a really stable base. But in this scenario where they're kind of like towers, I feel as if it just looks a little bit weird. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So for this moment, I'm just going to kind of leave it. So the other thing that I need to do is obviously add in some more lights. This one isn't so bad, like the light is going all the way down to the base, and I think it's working out pretty good. But I think what I will do for this one is perhaps I can place in another light, like maybe in here somewhere. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to place that. And in fact, I don't even know where the other light is. It's all the way up there. So maybe I will place a light, I don't know, maybe I'll put a block here and then place a light there, or maybe somewhere up here or something. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with that light. And also I need to do the same thing with the lights over on this side. But one other thing I wanted to show you, which was actually pretty cool, we have this nice little hollowed out area in here, and I would really love to do something with this area, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with this area. So but I thought that was pretty cool. There's definitely something I could do with it, but yeah, like I said, not sure what I want to do with that. So in fact, I may actually just go ahead and grind off some of these blocks here and just see what I can actually do with this area here. The only thing is I'm probably going to have to grind away all these blocks in the middle as well, because I've got just regular cubed blocks in the middle there. But I think what I'm going to have to do here is probably go with these blocks here. So I will make them this color, and what I'll do is I'll place in all the blocks down the side like this. Just these ones here, if I can ever get them orientated correctly. So I wonder if actually I have enough inventory space to grind all these blocks away now, and then just get all this stuff welded up in one big hit. It'll be a little bit less armored, but I mean, you know, at the end of the day, this is all light armor anyway, so it's not going to be, you know, the most super well protected tower in the world. But I guess I'm not really too concerned about the armor value of this tower anyway. So alright, let's weld this up and then see how that looks. Okay, so that's that welded up, but I don't really know if that looks any better than what it did before. Guess, yeah, I really don't know what to do about that. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to wait until daylight and just see what it looks like at that point. I could use these blocks here, but I really wish they had a block that went vertically, because you can get one of these blocks. So one of these blocks here, and it can go vertically up that way, but there's no like block that's angled at the front and then goes up vertically, with exception to this one. So, you know, this one, it only goes in the upwards direction. So let's have a look at this one. Yeah, so this one, it only would go side to side. It doesn't really go up and down. So I really wish they would have added blocks that would do that, because I don't think stacking these blocks where they all go horizontal like that would actually look any good. Although maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should try that out and then see what that looks like as well. Okay, well, I've got at least one light placed down on this turret here. So I ended up placing where I was kind of planning to place it before. What I've done is I've set the radius for that light to be 20 meters. And honestly, I think the light distribution on either side of the turret installation is pretty even. And it's pretty even from the front to back. Maybe it could go a little bit further out that way, but the entire tower is lit up and I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks, with exception to the fact that I probably want to change some things on that. I was thinking about placing a light here to push the light further out, and I still think it's quite funny in this game sometimes how light can basically travel through solid walls, but to be honest, I kind of like that sometimes because I find it to be a pretty useful feature. Now on this side I really need to figure out what I'm going to do here, so I think I will do pretty much the same thing as what I've done on the other side, and maybe I'll place in a block here all the way around, and then we'll just put 4 extra lights here, and then we can basically configure those to be the same color and the same radius as what I've done on the other side, or maybe they'll have to be 15 meters. I don't know, we'll just have to kind of play it by ear. So it doesn't really matter which way these lights are orientated because we are never going to see them. So let's get these welded up. And I think both of these towers are actually connected together via this little thing that I've got going on here. Yeah, they should be. So I should be able to control these interior lights here. I haven't bothered to give these a name because I just don't really think it's worth it, because as soon as I disconnect these grids from each other, it doesn't really matter. So this should be 170, 100, 100 to make the orange color that I want. I'm going to push out the radius to 20 meters, fall off 2 as usual, intensity 0.8, offset I'll just leave that the way it is, and then let's see how it looks now. Yeah, so that I think looks really good. It has an even distribution of light all the way around the tower, and you can see the entire thing in the dark. And
no energy.
No energy, what are you talking about? Right, I'm back. So, you know what? I probably spend way too much time on this aesthetic stuff and making things look good that it's... Yeah, it probably gets annoying to some people, but hey, you know what? I can't help it. I can't help it. So anyway, I was thinking a little bit more about what to do with this this turret installation. So because these things are so tall, they kind of look like a tall, flat structure. So maybe at some point here, what I could do is, let's just see what we can do about this. I'm thinking maybe we'll get rid of these blocks here. Well, actually, I might do it on this backside. Oh, no, I'll do it here. I'll seal this thing up because I don't really need to get in there anymore. And if I really do, I can just kind of grind that stuff away. So let's get rid of these blocks here. And I'm thinking I might expand these legs down the bottom out a little bit. Maybe I won't go so high with the expansion though. So what we'll do is I'll put these blocks here back, and maybe we can go from this point down. So we'll place those back, and then this one as well. Wait, which one? This one. So I'll place my half block back, quickly weld those up, and then from there I can grab my 2x1 beam blocks, which will be these ones here. And then from there we can basically go back from that point. Although, do I want to go like that, or do I want to grind that out and then place in a 2x1 but the opposite direction, so like that, and then grab the tip and spin that around so it's like that? Yeah, we'll give that a go and we'll see how that looks, and then we can kind of go from that point. Then I need another one of... no. What am I doing? So spin this around like that, and then place in a tip here. Probably could have just gone straight back from the last menu. I think I need another one there, but that's okay. We'll just kind of rough out this shape. Now the thing is, do I expand this out only that way, or do I expand this leg both ways out? I don't think there is a block that will kind of facilitate, like, because there is this block which kind of joins onto that area there, but I don't think there's a block that will allow me to do that any other way. So I'd have to kind of go like this, then place in a tip here, then another one of those, and then finally one of these here like this. And then perhaps we can get rid of that. We can place in one of these. So far I think we're doing pretty good. Get rid of these two. And perhaps on this side we can just make this flat. So, but these here are the wrong color, so let's recolor those. Even though you can't see them at the moment because they're kind of wireframes, but... Oh, actually no, they are the correct color, aren't they? So the question is, do I just leave it like that? It's a bit strange how this texture has this really big dark spot, but I guess, I am really tempted to see what it looks like if I just do this and then place in the blocks so that it's kind of the same on both sides, and then maybe from here we can put in something like that. I can't, there's nothing I can put there to kind of bridge the gap. It kind of has to be flat like that, so I've got to put in a 2x1 base like that, and then perhaps join it up with that side there. And so how would we go about doing that? I'd have to get rid of these two and then possibly place in a block like this, and then I think I'd need to go for one of the blocks in the new menu. Well, like I've said so many times before, I keep saying it's new, but it's not really new. Oh, which block am I going to place here? I think... yeah, I really don't know. I'd have to go for that block and then somehow join that to the other side. So how would I do that? I would have to go for the same block on this side like that, then place in a tip here, and then one of these ones should go like that, and then down here, if I can get a block to be in the right position, I'd have to place that one there like that. And let's weld this up and then see roughly how that looks. Of course, I'm out of steel plates. Yeah, I don't know. I should probably do that on all sides and see how it looks, and then kind of make my judgment from that point onwards. But it just kind of gives it that little bit more shape. And I wish the texture on these blocks here, when you colored them in, it wasn't exactly the same. So you have these little line dots. It was just like a smooth color, clean line, like you've got all this stuff here, which is, yeah, I guess it does add a little bit of detail, but at the same time it's kind of like, it just doesn't really look right, does it? So I wonder what happens though if I actually go like this and color in these blocks here, this color. So it's colored that one, this one, and that one. And looks a little bit strange. Maybe we could do this one and this one. Yeah, I don't know. What I'm going to do is perform this block swapping on this entire thing. See how it looks at that point, and then from there I can kind of make up my mind if I like it or not. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you in a moment. Right, well, as you can see, I have completed the transformation of these towers. I decided on a little bit of a different color scheme. So down here we obviously have our just our kind of, what do you call this, the dirty armor texture. Then in the center and on these side pillars here, I've gone for this battered armor texture. But I am kind of looking at this thing and just thinking maybe I just went a little bit too far. So on the one over here, I'm going to try a different design. So maybe instead of going all the way out here, maybe I can just go like one step outwards and then just go straight down from there. So instead of these blocks here, these like blocks that slope that way, I can just put in some other blocks that just go straight across, and I could just step out the base just one more level. I think maybe that might look a little bit nicer, because this thing does kind of look a bit like an abomination, but I guess we'll kind of see what happens. So how many blocks down did I go from here? I went 1, 2, 3 blocks from the top, so that puts us to about here. So let's get rid of these ones here. Is that where I need to be? Yep, that's where I need to be. Let's get rid of that, and so here I would need to place in one of these and then kind of tie that in with the sides. Now here I said what I would do is place in some 45-degree angle blocks like that. So then I'll seal this one up as well, because I don't really need to get in here, and as I said before, I can kind of grind my way in if I need to. So let's get this stuff welded up. Hopefully I've got a few more steel plates on my inventory so that I can get this done, but I guess we shall see what happens. So then here I'm going to place in one of these, and then I will place in a full beam block, which is one of these ones here, like that. Wait, that's a T-junction beam block, isn't it? I just want the regular beam block. So one like that. Yeah, that should do just fine. So then we could do something like that. So it has a little bit more shape, but it's not over the top, if that makes sense. Come on, let me grind this block, please. This one, please. Let me grind it. I had it. Oh. Man, that is super annoying. It's really frustrating when you get a block like that and you just can't reach it. So here I'll place in just a regular square block, and then I guess here what we can do is grab one of these blocks here, which is one of these. Yeah, something like that. And then from there I can place in one of these blocks here like that, and then a 45-degree angle block on the other side as well. So like so. And yeah, maybe that's... I'm really not sure. I'm really conflicted on how to make this thing look better. I don't know if I like this over that. This thing just looks like a bit of a monstrosity, considering it only has this many turrets on here, and maybe I should have built an entirely new tower and spread these out, but I'm not sure. What I could do instead though is we could go ahead and get rid of these blocks. The only problem is here that I'm going to have to kind of fill this in with blocks behind it, but I guess that is okay. So I'll grab my beam blocks, and I am really curious to see how it looks. So I have to put in a cross piece like that, and then from there I'll place in just my 45-degree angle beam blocks, which is these ones here, like... Okay, I guess I'll place one inside as well then. So we could do that, and maybe that kind of breaks it up a little bit. Or maybe I just put in one of those. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really not sure. Maybe I'll complete this one on this side and see how that looks. Although I'm only really going to be able to do this side, and that side will be buried under the mountain technically. So it's really just this one because it's so tall. Maybe I should have made that one a little bit shorter, and then they wouldn't have to be so so large. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you like this one better, or do you like that one? So, alright, I'll go away, I'll finish this one, and then we'll see how everything's looking. Rightio guys, well, as you can see, I have basically finished off this tower here on the left-hand side, I guess if you're looking at it from that way. So yeah, I think this one doesn't look too bad actually. But while I was away, I actually decided to play around with a few other designs. So you can see this tower here on the left, or on the left as I'm looking at it now. What I've done is I've changed this area here. So if we go over to this side, then this is basically the original design I had. So I thought, well, I don't know if I really like this design, and I thought I'd play around with a few others. So I thought maybe instead of this part here kind of moving inwards, I would just try and delete all these blocks here. And that's basically what I've done on this leg here, and I've just gone ahead and I've deleted those blocks. Now over on this side, basically what I decided to do was only pop out by half a block from this block here. So like, you know, this is half a block and then this is a full block. And then over here, this is basically the old design with the sides kind of deleted. And then over on this leg, I thought, okay, well, maybe I can go halfway in between this one and that one and then go for something like, so we've got the half block and then another half block and another half block. So, you know, we've got a full block here and another, yeah, beyond that point there. And then in the middle here, I decided to, and I just realized I'm about to run out of hydrogen. On this middle section, I decided to get rid of the beam blocks in the center there. And then also what I decided to do was kind of make the center section kind of separate from the rest of the structure. So, and I've done that here. And I think, honestly, that pretty much looks really cool. So you can see that it's very different to how I had it here, where it kind of joins onto the legs. I felt like there were too many things kind of joining together, and it kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't say ruined the aesthetic, but it just didn't really look that interesting. And I think, honestly, this part here looks a fair bit more interesting than that, and it actually looks really good, I think. So I think what I'm going to do, and over here you can see that I've done the exact same thing as the other side, except I've basically gotten rid of the beam blocks in the center. So I do like the beam blocks here, and I do like having only one section of beam blocks. I think the two beam blocks being on top of each other was kind of like, yeah, it just didn't really look right to me. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to go for something like this. So this leg here combined with this center section, and then I'm just going to go and change up that one there as well. You can see here I've also placed down a nuclear reactor just temporarily so that I can charge these things up. And you can see that I also built a line of blocks because for some reason these things kind of looked like they weren't the same height, but now at least I know that they are the same height. So yeah, I think I'm gonna basically change it all up. Now I was also looking at this whole design and thinking, well, this, when I put these blocks in here, I kind of got thinking, well, I wonder if I could put a gate here. And you know, I reckon it would be something that would look really cool, like to put a gate in between these two towers here, and it kind of opens up and allows me to drive the rover out. But I think it would kind of not so much ruin the aesthetic of these towers, but I would have to kind of delete the delete the legs on the sides of these towers here. So maybe instead we could do like a compromise, and maybe I could build a wall that goes from this leg here to that point, except for the fact that this one over here is pretty much, the wall wouldn't exist because the tower's pretty much half in the mountain anyway. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I do know that I'm definitely going to change this up a little bit. But anyway, guys, that is pretty much all I have time for in this episode of Wasteland Survival. So in the next episode, I want to kind of get these, I want to get some power kind of figured out for these things. I mean, yeah, I have this temporary power set up here, but I want to get a more permanent solution, but something that's kind of invisible. So yeah, I'm going to work on that. And so I will go ahead and change up these defense towers to be what I said I was going to make them, and I'll probably do that in between episodes, so at the beginning of the next episode, this will all hopefully be done. So anyway, guys, I really hope you enjoyed that episode of Wasteland Survival, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Remember, if you like this content, then definitely consider leaving a like and subscribing so that you do not miss the next episode. Alright guys, I will see you next time.